Hello again and welcome to another album ranking video. This is, I don't do very many of these. This is only the fourth one I've done, but it's the second one in, I think it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago that I ran through the Rat discography. And today I'm going to go through the Who discography. In a way, this was the easiest one that I've done. It was different than the other ones. I did Kiss, Motorhead, Rat, and now the Who. Rat was easy because there was only I included their EP, and Collage was kind of a compilation album, and even that it was only 9 albums, so that was pretty easy. Motorhead and Kiss were 23 or 24 albums each. Those were tough in that they were long, but you know, I've been into those bands for decades, so that made it a little bit easier. This one is a little bit more, it was kind of a mix. There's only 12 albums I'm going to talk about today. There's no live albums. Live at Leeds is not included here. There's no compilation albums. So Meaty, Beaty, Big and Bouncy, which I did a couple of months ago, not going to be included in this ranking. Odds and Sods, which is also a compilation album, which I also did a few weeks or maybe a month and a half ago, not going to be included here. This is the 12 albums from in order. Let's see if I can get a My Generation. A quick one, The Who Sellout, Tommy. Who's Next? Quadrophenia. Who by Numbers. Who Are You? I feel like I'm missing one. Who Are You is 8. It's Hard. No, Face Dances. It's Hard. That's 10. Endless Wire and Who. So I did get all 12. So that's it. Only those ones. As always with my album ranking videos, these are official. They're not opinion. You might watch others on YouTube and they're going to say, hey, this is in my opinion. No, this is not my opinion. This is fact, proven by science, undisputed fact. I don't want to hear any complaints from any of you people. All right. So the thing that is very different about this video that I'm doing today, or these rankings, this ranking video that I'm doing today. If you're new, first of all, hello. There might be some new Who fans. I know there's not too many people that watch these, but I like to think that I'm playing in Madison Square Garden or something. You know, as I said, I did Kiss, and I've been listening to Kiss since 1976. And I did Motorhead, and I've been listening to Motorhead since 1983. And I did Rat, and I've been listening to Rat since 1984. And I wasn't in on the first day with Kiss or Motorhead or Rat, but pretty close, especially with Rat. I got in on their first full-length album, so I only missed the EP at the time. Motorhead, I got into them in Another Perfect Day, which was around their 6th album. Kiss, I got into Alive, which was their 4th album. The Who is different because I didn't really, I knew the Who. I can't even say I was a casual Who fan. I knew their radio hits, like I guess from the late 70s into the 80s. I knew all the Who. I used to listen to the radio a lot. I used to hear a lot of Who on the radio, a lot. Man, the Who got a lot of airplay. And I liked their songs well enough, but never bought a Who album. I had a couple of singles. I had the single for You Better You Bet, 1981, which is from Face Dances. And I had the single for Athena, which is from It's Hard, 1982, but never had a Who record. And then in 2000, it was, I think 2003, I don't know what, I thought I got to get into the Who. So I bought all their albums and I did buy Meaty, Beaty, Big and Bouncy and Live at Leeds and Odds and Sods and Kids Are Alright, which I'm also not going to include. Kids Are Alright, that's a soundtrack. I think it's very different when you follow a band from the beginning and you can see each album as it comes out, as opposed to getting them all in a mass like I did with the Who. Very, very different. I've seen ranking videos, people talking about Kiss, and it's often, I guess, younger people, and they put crap like Hot in the Shade at number 3 and Crazy Nights at number 1, and I don't know, The Elder, things like that, you know, up high, and then they put, you know, Love Gun at 17 or something. I think, why would you do that? What's wrong with you? There must be something, you must have some kind of mental health issues if you think that. But then, you know, I realize, all right, they're kind of young, and they say, I discovered Kiss in 1987 or something. So I can understand this different that's going to be me today. So if you're an old Who head, I'm 55. If you're older than me, or if you might be my age or even younger, but you were listening to Who long before me, as I said, I really became a Who fan big time, enough that I can go through these albums with confidence. If that's you, you can feel free to blast me in the comments section down below. But I might have there are some choices here that are, I think, going to make some old Who heads a little bit might make them do this, like I do when I hear people say that Crazy Nights is a top 3 Kiss album. Those people are nuts. Regardless of age, I think if you like Crazy Nights, it's an awful album. So this one, as always, I try to, and I have listened to all the Who albums over the last, it's taken me maybe a month and a half or two. This is going to be so long. I'm going back. The reason I'm kind of in Who mode in recent months is I got the Who Live with Orchestra triple album in January this year. And that kind of sparked my interest. I've been listening to Who for over 20 years now. But sometimes, you get something that really makes you rediscover something. And then I did that episode. I did an episode of Meaty Beaty Big and Bouncy and Odds and Sods. And what else did I do? I did Who's Next, I think, a couple years ago. Actually, I did 2 episodes of Who's Next. It's one of the maybe only 2 albums that I've done 2 episodes of. And then recently, my friend Miguel, who was visiting from California, he brought me Odds and Sods on vinyl, Quadrophenia on vinyl, Face Dances on vinyl. So that, has got me into it too. And I watched a couple, I think 2 Who album rankings. And I think what happens, I was talking about this the other day with my friend Kevin, who I've mentioned many times on this channel. When it's a band that has an old catalog, or especially a classic catalog like the Who, and let's say even Motorhead and Kiss, and you get into them either at an older age or later in their career, as I said, you look at their catalog differently than somebody who followed them from the start. Maybe people who bought Kill 'Em All in 1983, which I did, maybe you hate the Black Album, and I don't. I like the Black Album. And you hate Load, and I don't. I like Load. Whereas if Black Album was your first album, you think it's their greatest album, and you think Load is great, and Reload is great, and Reload sucks. So I think that's kind of me, and I think the instinct for a lot of people, even including younger people, because man, I watched one video, I can't remember the name of the channel, but there was 4 guys. There was, like a Zoom chat, I guess, one here, one here, one here, one here, and they were like 20, 30 years younger than me maybe, and they were talking about the Who as if they lived in that era. And I'm going to try not to do that. I'm not going to, try to pretend that, as each album came out, what the reception was or what I felt about it, because these albums were kind of new around the same time for me, which gives me a very, very different perspective. I think a lot of people, the classics, everybody's going to say, oh, Tommy is number 1, Quadrophenia, Who's Next? Those are probably the top 3 of anybody. And so when I watched this video of these younger guys, they had all these classics at the top, and the ones you would expect down at the bottom. And that was kind of my first instinct, and I kind of made that mistake a little bit with Kiss. And in hindsight, going back with Kiss, I feel like I could have had, I thought, okay, well, the first 6 studio albums, from the first one through Love Gun, they're my top 6, so it's just a matter of putting them in the order. And then I realized, you know what, I think I like Lick It Up maybe better than the first album. I definitely like Gene Simmons' album, 1978 album, better than the first album, and maybe even better than any of those 6. So I try to go through all the catalog to really, really kind of go like Costanza, going the opposite, to go against my instinct. If everything you think is right and it turns out that's bad for you, then isn't the opposite correct? Something like that. And that is true. There were a few albums here that I liked more than I thought, more than my instinct. I thought, okay, well, these are obviously near the top because they're the ones that everybody says, and then these ones are down near the bottom because they're not their classic lineup or their, whatever. But I did listen to them all in the span of a couple of weeks, some of them more than once, and I found some surprises. There were some that I didn't like as much as I thought I did. I still like them, but I thought, oh, these are going to be up high. And then when I was putting them all together like a puzzle, I thought, oh, they're lower than I thought. And a couple that are much higher than I thought, and I think higher than a lot of who heads might think. I don't know if who heads is a term. I think maybe I invented it. So that's that was my thought process going into this. I wanted to try to look at them, not like saying, okay, everybody says this is their classic, so I have to say it's their classic. I tried to really listen to it and put it in. And I sat down and the top, let me see here, I've got my list. The top 2 or 3 are pretty much correct, and the bottom 2 are also correct. It was the ones in the middle that so I kind of did it like this. I filled out the top and the bottom, and then kind of met them in the middle, something like that. All right. So remember, this is fact, not opinion. All right. So I'm going to start with, and I will show them as I do it. I'm going to start with, and I think this is a pretty obvious choice for a lot of people. I would imagine most people would have this at or very near the bottom, and it is my number 12, and it's right at the very bottom. And I know there's a lot of glare in front of me, which is hard on my eyes too. But if you can see that, this is called It's Hard, and it's really not very good. It was their last studio album. This came out in 1982. It was their last album until Endless Wire came out in 1986. And I just really, I don't really like this album. I didn't like their sound. A lot of keyboards, not just keyboards, but synthesizer, very 80s sounding. To me, it sounds kind of dated now. There's really nothing classic Who about this record. Now, I do have a small attachment to this record because, as I said, I did have Athena, the single, and I did also have, I've talked about this before, the first rock shirt that I ever had was the cover of It's Hard. I got that shirt at Cedarbrae Mall in Toronto. I lived in Toronto at the time, and I don't know why I had that shirt because I didn't have the album, and I was into Kiss at that point, for like 6 years. I don't know why I didn't get a Kiss shirt, but I did have the Who It's Hard shirt. Yeah, but this album, there's really not. I know Eminence Front is on here, and even Athena, which I guess is my favorite song. I don't even think it's that great. It just sounds so kind of happy. Athena, da, 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 da. I have no idea how much I need her. I guess it's okay. There's another song in here called Cooks County that's probably, off the top of my head, is probably as close to classic sounding Who as you would get. So it's just not, and also for what this is worth, I didn't like their look at this time. They had that, they look kind of like an 80s British new wave pop band or something like that. I don't know, I just didn't like it. But yeah, it's hard. It was not hard to put that at the bottom. It was actually quite easy. Next is, and this one I don't have, there are 2 records that are missing, and this is one. So you can imagine I'm holding it up here. This is maybe surprising in that, and this was easy for me to pick this one too. I've never really liked this album. It's Hard. Sorry, not It's Hard. Who Are You? And I don't know what people really think about this album. You think, oh, it's the original lineup. It's Roger Daltrey, Pete Townsend, Keith Moon, John Entwistle. Everybody loves original lineups and classic lineups. So I would imagine most people automatically are going to say, oh, this is better than It's Hard or Face Dances or Endless Wire or Who, which came out after it. And this was the last one with Keith Moon. So maybe people have this bias towards it being a great album. It's really not very good. This was the last one I listened to out of their catalog. I just listened to this today, and I really don't like it. It's too, there's a lot of keyboards. I guess it was a little bit ahead of the time. This was 1978. And so this was not in the 80s when synthesizers were, by the time the 80s came around, everybody was using synthesizers. This was 78. So The Who was a little bit ahead of the curve. I love the title track. Who Are You is a great, great song. That was one of my favorites when I was a kid. I woke up in a Soho doorway, I woke up in a Soho door. A breeze blew back my hair. Oh God, what are the lyrics to Who Are You? I woke up in a Soho door. The policeman knew my name. They said you can go sleep at home tonight if you can get up and walk away. I staggered back to the underground and a breeze blew back my hair. I remember throwing punches around. I love that song. That's about it. There's really nothing else on Who Are You that I like. Nothing that I love, really nothing that I like. I know Trick of the Light, I think, is on there. Guitar and Pen, is that what that's called? Sister Disco, no, not a good album. Who Are You? And I don't have it, so I can't show it. But Who Are You is number 11. Some people say 11, some people say 11. That's very interesting to note. Next, number 10 is, this is the first, I think, real surprise. I'm sure everybody thinks this is a classic. I do like it. I would say those two, It's Hard and Who Are You, are really the only two that I don't like. All the ones coming after this, the next 10, I like them, or I love them. Maybe these lower ones I like less than, obviously, than some of the higher ones. So for me, number 10 is, maybe I think, a big surprise. It's, and I don't know what the glare is like, but it's the Who Sell Out. This was their third album, so of course everybody's gonna love it. And this is the, I guess, kind of first, maybe second album that had a little bit of a concept, and that's gonna play a big part in this video, is the Who and their concepts. They kind of did it with the last song on A Quick One, which was the song was A Quick One While He's Away. That was like a mini opera. It was like, that's a 9 or 10 minute song, and I'll get to that, consisting of little kind of other 1 minute songs, and then of course Tommy and Quadrophenia. But this one just feels to me, I'm going to talk about filler a lot, and if you're not familiar with when I do these videos, to me filler, everybody seems to say that filler is just a song that they don't like, and I strongly disagree. To me, filler, and they think of filler as bad, and I think filler can be good. And if you've heard this, I apologize, but I have to try to keep in mind that there might be new people watching this. So to me, filler is just, it's short songs, a minute, 2 minutes. Instrumentals could be fillers, covers, spoken word things, preludes, intros, outros, songs that are not really songs, but maybe sound effects. For me, Eruption, Van Halen's fucking awesome, but it's filler. It's not a complete song. There's no melody to it. There's no lyrics. It's just a guitar solo. It's great, but to me, it's filler. And this one, to me, it's got all these weird little commercials, which is obviously the point of the Who Sell Out, is that they were kind of doing these commercials between songs. And that kind of just, to me, turns me off. If they had removed all those little things and just had the songs, I think I would like it much better. And that theme will come up also. But I do like the Who Sell Out. Just to me, it seems a little bit, just when you're starting to get into it, they have one of these little interludes or something. And I do love some of the songs. I Can See for Miles is a great Who song. One of my favorites is Marianne with the Shaky Hand. I love Marianne with the Shaky Hand. Tattoo is an excellent song. But then there's like Heinz Baked Beans, Odorono, these kind of weird things. Yeah, Marianne with the Shaky Hand. Marianne with the Shaky Hand. What you done to a man, those shaky hands. I love that song. So yeah, this to me is a little bit uneven, the Who Sell Out. All right. So that was number 10, which I'm sure is quite low for Who heads. No, sorry, I'd flipped two. Sorry, that should have been number. Yeah. Oh, there's even a bigger surprise. Yeah, I had made a little arrow reversing these two. Sorry, the Who Sell Out should be number 9. I originally had it number 10, and then I realized I flipped these two. The next one, so Who Sell Out is 9. Let me go backwards. I totally fucked that up. I should go back and start all over, but I'm already 20 minutes in. This is an even bigger surprise. So 12, It's Hard. 11, Who Are You? 10, it's not Who Sell Out. It's this one. This is maybe the biggest surprise. Tommy. Yeah, I have Tommy at number 10. Who Sell Out is number 9. This is, I'm sure, a big surprise to a lot of people. This would for sure be on almost anybody's top 3 list. A lot of people, I'm sure, would have it at number 1. I have this down at number 10. And yeah, just like I said with the Who Sell Out, I don't dislike it. But speaking of filler, it's 24 tracks, and this is I think around 78 or 79 minutes or something. And for one, that's a long time. And it's got all these little weird instrumentals and things that divide these 24 songs. And I know it's a story, it tells a story. I never got into the story of Tommy, the deaf, dumb, and blind kid, and he was molested, and cousin Kevin, and all the characters, the Acid Queen. I just never get into the story. So on this one, I did take some notes here. Of the 24 tracks, 5 are less than 1 minute. Some are, I think one is like 9 or 10 seconds. 3, an additional 3 are less than 2 minutes. So that's 8 songs that are, to me, filler. They're not really music. They are, but they kind of just continue to tell the story of Tommy. And then you've got, I think there's 1 or 2 instrumentals on there too. So if you remove all of those that hold the story together, if you look at just the songs, Pinball Wizard is great. I love Pinball Wizard. And there are a couple of the short filler songs that I love, like It's a Boy, which is, I think that's the second song. It's a boy, Mrs. Walker, it's a boy. I love that song, but it's like 1 minute long, maybe even less. And a son, and it doesn't really go anywhere. And I just think, man, I wish that could be a full song, and I would like it more, and I would like this album more. But it's just too, it's like splattered, song, filler song, instrumental, and they have the overture and the underture, and they repeat a lot of things. And I know that is the purpose of it, is to, to put everything into one big piece, the overture. Looking at this down, 1921, that's a great song. I got a feeling it's going to be a good year. I love that. Come On, The Amazing Journey. Sparks, it's an instrumental. Dun, 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 dun. Very dramatic. I like it, but Christmas is good too. Have you seen the faces of the children? They look so excited. Cousin Kevin, I'm the Gypsy, the Acid Queen. Yeah, I like it, but it's just, it's too much for me. Like I said, I don't really care about the story. I'm Free is excellent. Ding, 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 ding. See Me, Feel Me, which is part of We're Not Gonna Take It. Yeah, so Tommy, for me, maybe by other people's definitions or definition, I would think this is overrated. I don't like that word or those words, overrated, underrated. But yeah, I don't like this as much as a lot of people. I do like it. It's and I can understand that this is considered, it's maybe their greatest album. It's not even close to being my favorite. It's number 10. But I understand the ambition that went into this, the work and the creativity, and I guess the talent and the writing and the musicianship and everything. I understand all that. But I just want to hear, 10, 12, 9 great songs. All right, so there we are. So the Who Sell Out is so 10 is Tommy, 9 is the Who Sell Out. All right, so now we're number 8. And I know this is going to be crazy, but Who? This is, I guess, almost. It's one definite article away from being a self or an eponymous album. It's not The Who, it's just Who. I really like this album. I think the only thing that's preventing me from maybe even putting it a little bit higher is that I just never really got into it too much. But when I listened to it, and I listened to it about a week or a week and a half ago, and I listened to it occasionally, I really like this album. I think it's excellent. But its curse was that it came out in 2019. And in 2019, people don't want to hear new Who music, unfortunately. They don't want to hear new Kiss music and new, these bands that are classic. People want to hear the old stuff. But I think this is an excellent album. Really, really good. When I listen to it, I really enjoy it. What's the first song? All This Music Must Fade. That's a real rock song. Ball and Chain, which was Guantanamo. Down in Guantanamo, which was a Pete Townsend solo song. This is Ball and Chain was a rework of that. She Rocked My World, which is the last song. That's kind of a really, really nice, really good Who song. This is to me a real rock record. It's 11 songs, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 11 songs. And that's what I want from the Who. There's no story here. It's just 11 rock songs, and it doesn't sound like classic Who, but it's got the earmarks of classic Who, in that it's a rock album. There's a lot of extra stuff too. There's some horns and things, but I think it's an excellent record. I like it a lot, and I know it's strange to say this guy likes Who from 2019 more than he likes Tommy, maybe one of the most classic rock albums ever from 1969. I understand that Tommy is thought of in higher regards, but for me personally, I think I would rather listen to this than Tommy. Yeah, I don't know. All right, so that was number 8, Who. Number 7, this is the second of 2 that I don't have, so I can't hold it up, but you'll have to imagine I'm holding up the album that is called A Quick One. It was called A Quick One originally, I think in England, and in North America it was called Happy Jack. I think with only one song different. I think side 1 was the same, and side 2, Happy Jack, the title track from the American version was on Happy Jack, and wasn't on the British version. On the British version, was it Heat Wave, I think, that wasn't on the American version? I'm not sure. But I like A Quick One. For me, it has maybe a top, and maybe I'll mention this, top 5, top 10, whatever. One of my very, very top Who songs is on this record, and that's So Sad About Us. I love that song. It's got some good stuff. Cobwebs and Strange. I don't always love instrumentals, but I think Cobwebs and Strange is excellent. It is a strange song. It's kind of quirky, weird, funny. They kind of play this music, then they play it again faster, and then it gets faster and faster. I like Cobwebs and Strange. Boris the Spider, it's not a heavy song, but it's kind of dark. Dum, 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 dum. Look who's crawling up the wall. Boris the Spider. Perhaps he's just as scared as me. John Entwistle sings that. Also, I Need You, Keith Moon sings that one. That's a beautiful, beautiful song. Very, very nice song. Doesn't sound like The Who, or it doesn't sound like you'd expect from The Who, maybe because it's Keith Moon singing. And this was their second record, and I think this was like, I think this was when they still kind of had that similar sound to the first record, My Generation, a little bit more of the R&B, rock and roll, 60s rock and roll. I think after this, which was the Who Sellout, I think that was gone. But yeah, this does have it was their last album, the second one, that had that 60s rock and roll sound. I love the title track too. I mentioned earlier the title track, A Quick One, which was 9 or 10 minutes of these little mini songs. Her Man's Been Gone, Ivor the Engine Driver. Her man's been gone for nearly a year. He was due home yesterday, but he ain't here. Her man's been gone for nigh on the year. He was due home yesterday, but he ain't here. I love that song. That's a great song. And it's a simple album too. It's only 32, 33, 35 minutes. It's a quick, easy listen, and it's great. All right, so that was A Quick One, number 7. Number 6, this is, you're maybe starting to put the pieces together here. Number 6 is one that I'm sure everybody would have down at the bottom, maybe second to last, second from the bottom, third to the bottom. But I have it all the way up at number 6, and it is Face Dances, and I can show it glare-free. Here it is. There, I think kind of glare-free. There's Face Dances, and this was one when I listened to these records that I liked more than I thought I did. It was kind of my instinct to put this down lower, but I've listened to this a bit in the last couple weeks. The first side of Face Dances is awesome. You Better You Bet. I don't know the order. You Better You Bet. Don't Let Go of the Coat. Cash Cash. Did You Steal My Money? The Quiet One. Side 1 of Face Dances is as good as any single side of any Who record. I love second side. It's not that it's not good. I just never get into it as much. But yeah, I think Face Dances is excellent. You Better You Bet is, again, going back to my superlatives. One of my very top Who songs. It's maybe a contender for, I don't know if it's number 1. It could be second or third. I love You Better You Bet. It's a great song. So Face Dances is number 6. Next is, I'll go back to the glare of CDs, and I hate this cover of the version I have. This is My Generation. I like the other album cover better, which this just looks. I just don't like this one, but that doesn't matter. But I do really like this record, and this, and the one I talked about 2 records ago, A Quick One. the Who had, they didn't have the sound, that big bombastic sound that they had, later in their career. But this is an excellent record. I love it. Obviously, the title track is also, and for me, Who have mostly great singles. My Generation is great. I've always thought that song is kind of thrashy. It's not thrash metal, but it's quite aggressive for being 1965 or 66. 66 it looks like. It was very kind of it's not heavy, but it's very kind of it's a very aggressive song, My Generation. La 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 lies. What else is on here? Without looking. A Legal Matter. It's a great song. Well, it's a legal matter, baby. Got me on the run. It's a legal matter, baby. Legal matter from now on. I love that song. It reminds me of Legal Matter from now on. Of there was a Salty Dog song on Every Dog Has Its Day. The part of that song reminded me of A Legal Matter. The Ox is on here. What else? Much Too Much. Much Too Much is a great song. Oh, The Good's Gone. How could I forget about that? That's a great song. Great groove and swing to it. Amazing. Yeah, My Generation is an excellent album. Next is, so that was number 5, My Generation. Next is number 4. I guess this is the last of the true surprises. You may have noticed that I haven't said it yet, and it's an album that came out all the way in 2006. And it's Endless Wire. And yes, I like Endless Wire, 5, 6 spots better than Tommy. I have Tommy at number 10 and Endless Wire at number 4. I really, really, really love this album. And I did struggle with this one. I thought, do I really like it that high? Is it right to put it above My Generation and that much higher than Tommy and higher than A Quick One and higher than their classics, The Who Sell Out. But I really can't stress enough how much I love this album. And I think there's a reason for it. This was the first Who album that I got into, the first Who album that I bought after I got into them. It was, like I said, it was around 2003 when I really, really got into Who mode. And everything was kind of new to me at that time, at least their albums. I knew the singles. But this came out in 2006. And I thought, oh my God, a new Who record. I've been into the Who now for 3 years. And so I thought, oh, this is really, really cool. You didn't think the Who were ever going to do another album. So I think that was a big thing for me, that this was a new album for me by the Who. And also I got this. This came out shortly after I moved to Mexico. I moved to Mexico in August 2006, and this came out, I don't know when, but sometime after, I think towards the end of the year, maybe in October or November maybe. And it was possibly, I don't know if it was the first CD that I bought in Mexico, but it was one of the first. So I kind of have that sentimental attachment to it also. But oh my God, this album is great. Now you might be thinking, hey, you're full of shit because you said you didn't like Tommy because, it tells a story and it's got all these little 1 and 2 minute songs, and Endless Wire has that too. Yes, that's true, but this only has a mini. This is 19 songs. There are 2 bonus songs on here, which are extended versions of songs that were on the album. We Got a Hit and Endless Wire. It's really just the second part of the album that's like a concept. And yeah, I don't care about the story either, but I do love it. This is the first half of this album, the first 9 songs, they're just songs. It's not part of a story. The opera, or the mini opera, I guess they call it, was Wire and Glass, which was, I don't know the order, Trilby's Piano, Fragments of Fragments, I think. Yeah, We Got a Hit, Endless Wire, Pick Up the Peace, come on, let's try to pick up the peace, Unholy Trinity, Sound Round, that's a good song. But the first half of this record, man, Fragments is the first song. Clearly they're it's a big nod. It's more than a nod. It's a big wave hello to Baba O'Reilly. Mike Post theme. We're not strong enough. We're not old enough. Emotionally, we're not even. Late at Night in the Underground Dream. We summon every childhood's theme. Then suddenly we hear that Mike Post theme. Everything is all right. Ba-da-ba. We pray today. Ba-ba-da-ba. Everything is okay. Da-da-da. We should get laid today. Man, Mike Post's theme is great. A Man in a Purple Dress, just Pete playing acoustic guitar and singing. And then even in the mini opera, Wire and Glass, We Got a Hit, Good News, We Got a Hit, We Got a Hit. What else? Oh, Endless Wire. The first song I think that I heard from this was In the Ether, which is very strange. When I first heard it, I thought, what the hell is this? It's Pete singing, and he's in the ether. He sings like that. He sounds like, what's that guy? Not Nat King Cole. Louis Armstrong. He sounds like Louis Armstrong. He's got this voice like this, singing In the Ether. But I love that song now. Yeah, man, Endless Wire is fantastic. I love it, which is why I have it all the way up. Did I miss anything about Endless Wire? Oh, 2,000 Years. Mandolin in that. 2,000 years, 2,000 years, to show that I have loved you. Yeah, 2,000 Years is great. I love this album. And this one, the version I have, has a bonus DVD of not live at Leeds, but live at Lyon, France. It's five songs DVD. Yeah, I love it. I'm sure old Who fans would strongly disagree, but this is official, remember. Okay, so now the top three, and as you can probably guess if you've been following, these are pretty predictable. It's just a matter of the order that I put them in officially, remember. And I think most people would have two of these for sure in their top three. At number 3, I have, you can see the glossy or the glare version or the unglared version of Quadrophenia. And again, maybe contradicting myself by saying, yeah, Tommy had all those, little filler songs and everything, but I liked Endless Wire so much, and Quadrophenia is the same. And this is one that in listening to the catalog that I like more than I thought I did. I've kind of thought as Tommy and Quadrophenia is kind of the same, because they're both concept albums, and they both came out, with Who's Next in between. But I don't know, I just think Quadrophenia is way, way better than Tommy. It has some of my favorite Who songs. Possibly I'm One is in my top, whatever, man, 2 or 3, 4 songs, I don't know. Love, Rain, or Me, the last song in the album, is one of the, not quite my favorite, it might be in my top 10, but to me that you could almost say that, make the argument that that's like the signature Who song, that I think really sums up the Who and their sound and their style. Love, Rain, or Me is amazing. Is It In My Head? Is It In My Head is great. Sorry for the singing. The Dirty Jobs is excellent. 515. What else do I love on Quadrophenia? The Punk and the Godfather. Let me take a look here. What else? Bellboy. Yeah, Cut My Hair. Why should I care? Now, this, I do dislike, some of the songs, like, for example, in the Cut My Hair, also is part of Cut My Hair, I think, as at the beginning of 515. And so you kind of get confused. You're hearing these little parts of songs in maybe 3 different songs, which is the same as Tommy. But yeah, Quadrophenia is excellent. Just an amazing record. I think for me, obviously, because I have this at number 3 and Tommy at number 10, I realized I like this way, way, way better than Tommy. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. I think, I don't know, what do Who fans think? Seriously, leave a comment. I don't care about your list, but tell me, which you prefer, Tommy or Quadrophenia? I know my friend Jonathan. Hello, Jonathan. I hope you're watching. Quadrophenia, I know, is his favorite Who album. I don't know, if you asked 100 or 1,000 Who fans, people that are really familiar with both Tommy and Quadrophenia, which one they prefer, I feel like it'll be very even, very close to 50-50. Yeah, I don't know. I won't get enough comments to form a big enough sample size. Next, now these last 2, the top 2, if I had done this 3 months ago, I would have had them in a different order than what I have now. So if you're paying attention, you know what the top two are. Which one is going to be with two? Which one is going to be number one? I struggled with this. I struggled mightily with this. I really, I lost sleep. I was borderline suicidal. I was trying to find a Who hotline, to call for help, and I couldn't find it. But I did come to the conclusion that number two is Who's Next. And I have a couple of other versions of it here. This is why I did two episodes of it. There's obviously the one that everybody knows. I don't have the wide angle, so maybe I shouldn't hold these so close. And I got this one a couple of months ago. This is a Mexican. They have this series. It's called 30 Años de Música Rock Salvat. And they take classic albums, and it's Who's Next, and it's the exact same track listing, same running order and everything as the original Who's Next. And it's got like a little biography there. And they've done this for, I think I saw one for Rainbow Rising. I know there's a Kiss one. I can't remember. Miguel, my friend Miguel, told me. I don't know if it's Creatures of the Night. I can't remember. Yeah, but I've always thought when I got into The Who in 2003, right away I thought, yeah, Who's Next is easily my favorite. And then over the years I thought, man, Who's Next is just one of the greatest albums ever. And I do still think Who's Next, it is the best Who album. I try to, differentiate between my personal favorite and what could be the best. And I would say if I were going to recommend, if somebody was getting into The Who now, start with this. Don't start with my number one, but I would recommend this. I think this is, it's 10 songs. I think it's 10 songs. 9 songs, even better. It's a much easier listen than Tommy or Quadrophenia, because they're long. And I think Quadrophenia is a couple minutes longer than Tommy, but to me it doesn't feel as long. And even the Who Sell Out, it's not long, but as I said, it's kind of divided by all those things. This is a great starting point. I would imagine it's 45 minutes, just 9 songs. There's no story. It's simple. They're rock songs. It's great. So it is my number 2. And I love it, man. Every song on this album, every song is great. And every song is a hit. Baba O'Reilly, Won't Get Fooled Again, Behind Blue Eyes, Bargain. Those were radio staples, from the time I started listening to the radio, maybe in 1978 or 79. I guess those 4 are radio staples, not the other ones. But yeah, man, Who's Next is an awesome, incredible album. And it was very difficult to put it at number 2. And maybe I could have changed that. But for now, I have Who's Next at number 2. That means number 1 is, and this is one that is really, this was always one of my favorites, but I've realized recently, today, that I think in recent months, I do like this better. This could change in a couple of years, but I'm really, really, really into these days my number 1 Who album, which means it is the official number 1 Who album. And it's Who by Numbers, and there it is on CD. And and I don't know what happened. I don't know if the CD version, you can see, the record is kind of yellowish. It's got kind of a yellow more than off-white. And the CD is white. I think the CD was originally this color. I think it got faded by the sun because it's pretty much completely white. But I think I can see that there was some color in it. Anyway. And I just did an episode of Who by Numbers, 2 months ago. Talked about how much I love it. I didn't realize how much I loved it. Oh my God, this album is just incredible. It's 10. Is it 10 songs? It is 10 songs, and it is like Who's Next. This is how I want to hear The Who. I want to hear just 9, 10 songs. I want them to be rock songs within the realm of rock, or under the giant umbrella of rock. They can have many, many different styles. Going mobile on Who's Next is not like a bombastic Who rock song like Won't Get Fooled Again. But this is everything I want from The Who. Yeah, I love it. And maybe the one single song, maybe my favorite Who song in the last couple of months that I've listened to the most is Success Story. What a song that is. Friday night. What are the lyrics? I'm painting myself into a quarter. Friday night. I'm on my way home. They ought to make work a crime. I'm home for the weekend. I'm going to make the most of my time. Can't get enough of that song. And if you want to hear more Who lyrics, a recitation of Who lyrics, you can go back and watch my episode of Who by Numbers. I also talked about this, for sure my favorite Who song is Blue, Red, and Gray, which is from Who by Numbers. So much so that I have the lyrics. It's not the chorus, it's kind of like a refrain, I guess. I like every minute of the day. He repeats that in the song. Other than that, on this album, Slip Kid, However Much I Booze, and Squeeze Box, and Imagine a Man are favorites. As I said, Success Story. How many friends have I really got? I can count them on one hand. This is a fantastic album. I love it. I love it. It's incredible. Obviously, I have it at number 1. All right. So that is all. So to recap, let's go back this in reverse. So number 1 is, and I got to try to keep this. I don't know what that is. It's not an obi strip. I think that's only from Japan. So number 1 is Who by Numbers. Number 2 is, who's next? 3 is Quadrophenia. Hello. 4, Endless Wire. 5, My Generation. This is called the Who Sings My Generation, which I think was the American version. I think the real version was just called, the original British version was just called My Generation. That's number 5. Number 6, gotta go back to the records. Face Dances, maybe a surprise, at number 6. Number 7, a quick one, which I don't have. Number 8 is Who. That's it. Who? Kin. Number 9 is The Who Sell Out. Number 10 is Tommy Boy. Number 11, which I don't have, is Who Are You? And at the bottom is the glary It's Hard. Don't like that one. All right, so that's it. So that's all for the official Who ranking video. I don't know how many more of these I can do. To me, to do these videos, I put a lot of thought into it, and I want to, be mindful and be thoughtful instead of just, here's my list, without really thinking about it. And I don't know who else I could do. I could probably at some point I'm sure I will do Metallica. I could do Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden would be hard, I think. Who else could I do? I can't, I don't know if anybody was going to make a request. I can't take a request. It has to be something that I really feel, and it has to be a band that I'm really, really interested in to do an album ranking. And at this point, I'm rambling, so I will wrap it up. Thank you for watching the official Who album ranking video. Stay tuned. Lots more I want to talk about this album episodes coming up. Thank you again for watching. See ya.